Well, this is my first Women in Horror month ever. I mean, Vintage Blood, which is the short film that I directed that's showing here tonight, is my first horror film that I've made. Usually I do comedy or drama, but I've always loved horror, so I'm actually thrilled to be, breaking into it, as it were. So, no, I'm really excited. It's a good thing. It can only be a good thing, really. We need women to make films, any films, and women make excellent horror films, so why not? Well, I was an actor originally, and then got into improvisation and comedy, and then I got into writing from that. So, but I've always been a film lover, and then so I wrote a short film originally, and then made that, and that got into film festivals and won a couple of awards. Then I got my agent and went from there, really. I write for TV, developing ideas for television, and so I'm hopefully making a feature in a few months, my first feature, so that's very exciting. Well, Vintage Blood is a dark comedy horror, so there wasn't much of a shift. And I was actually shocked whenever anyone says, when the first person said they were scared or it unnerved them, that absolutely amazed me. I couldn't believe that anyone could, because you think, well, it's just a trick, it's a cut. I cut to that. Why are you scared? But it's the build-up of tension, I suppose, and you set the characters up, you set the situation up, they do the rest, and I'm glad it worked. The whole thing, really. We shot for 4 days plus a day of pickups in a vintage clothes shop in North London. And just the actors themselves, we had some fantastic actors. We had Sophie Thompson, who's done many films. She's one of our best loved actors. And Indira Varma, Michael Rosen, who was the poet laureate, children's laureate. He's actually my childhood hero. And so he got involved. And just so working with the actors, just directing. This is actually my first official directing project as well. So the whole thing was just really exciting, and the fact that it came out okay is good. I think I just like to have control, and also it's just awful being an actor. It's rubbish. Because you're basically handing over control of your life and your career to other people. These people don't know who you are and what you like and what you're good at and what you're bad at and your strengths. They're not going to nurture you in the way. So, control, variety, work. So just taking some control over my life, really. And also working, because when you're an actor and you're not getting work, you're not doing anything, and it's depressing, and what life is passing you by. So there's no reason, really, not to just pick up a camera and do something yourself. I definitely prefer directing, and I'm going to be directing a feature this year, and I'm not going to be acting in it. For the first time, I'm not casting myself. Oh, there's loads, absolutely tons. Gary Oldman was an early influence, everything he did. I rented everything. Sam Raimi, the Evil Dead movies, were huge for me. Meryl Streep, just loads of people. Return of the Living Dead was one of my favourite films when I was growing up. Stephen King, there's hundreds of influences, really. Nowadays, I really like Catherine Hardwicke, and not necessarily for her films, although I think she's a very good filmmaker. I just like her as a person. I like her attitude. She works really hard. She's funny. She's irreverent. She's just like this force of nature. Her and Lynn Shelton, another great filmmaker. There's nothing else to do but just make something. You don't need any money, as we all have mobile phones, or borrow an iPhone, and make something. And if you like it, if you're proud of it, put it on YouTube. If you're not, don't. It's not worth it. Yeah. Don't put your bad stuff on YouTube. Even if your friends are going, yeah, it's really good. Get an opinion of someone that isn't necessarily your friend, that will give you an honest opinion. Always, ask for opinions. I think that's really important as well. Show your work to people you know, and people that you think might not like it. That's really useful as well. And if, I think somebody said, I can't remember who said this, but they said, it might have been Neil Gaiman, if somebody says something is bothering them, they're probably right, but if they give you a way to fix it, they're always going to be wrong. You can fix it yourself. But if somebody says, I don't understand why that happens, listen to them, but then you find the solution. Don't go, well, what do you think I should do? But use your voice, and don't be afraid to just write stuff, make stuff that's embarrassing, that's scary, that scares you personally. You think, I don't want this out there, do it. Usually if I have an idea that I think, oh God, that is really, that's horrible, or embarrassing, that usually means I'm onto something good. It's called Tales from the Lodge at the moment, unless I can think of a better title. It's a portmanteau horror dark comedy. The main framework story is 5 old university friends gather at this isolated lodge to scatter the ashes of another friend of theirs who drowned in the lake by the lodge a few years earlier. So they're gathering, and one of them brings his new girlfriend, which causes some trouble in the group. And then while they're there, they tell stories, and we watch those stories unfold in the sort of classic kind of creep show, Tales from the Crypt kind of way. And something might or might not happen that is interesting.